What's up guys, Learning with Rich here. In this video, we are going to continue our discussion for Revit Mechanical Certification Preparation. Okay, so we are now on the documentation topic. So this time, after learning the basics of the visibility graphics overrides, view templates from our previous video. So this time, let us use some miscellaneous view pictures of Autodesk Revit 2024 for mechanical, for electrical, for architecture, structure, or any discipline. So this is a standard view features of Revit. Okay, so we are going to learn how to use section boxes and scope boxes, and then also I'm going to show you how to create a color fill legend. Okay, so let's do this. So section box that is available in your 3D view. So for your 2D view, what you can do if you want to control, let's say for example for this, let's say I'll go to the ground floor HVAC zones. So you only want to concentrate, for example, in this area here. So for the 2D, you can use your crop view. So you can turn on the crop region first. The first time you turn on your crop region, it will automatically turn on the crop view as well. Have a look. Take a look at this one. If I click this, so you will notice it will also activate your crop region. Okay. So you can use this to crop your view. Now in the 3D view, if you want to crop your 3D, you can use the section box. But let me just quickly show you how to use your crop region. Now before I do this, I'm just going to close this one. I'm going to duplicate this. Right click. I'm just going to duplicate that, just a normal duplicate. So just duplicate like that. And I'll just rename this one. I'll rename this like zone A, enter, and then I'm gonna duplicate this one as well. So just duplicate. So I'll call this like B, zone B. Oops, all right, zone B. All right. Okay, so now going back to my zone A, I'll double click that to open it. So I'm going to turn on my crop region, and then I'm going to use my crop region to crop my view. Okay, so let's say that's my zone A. Zone A. There you go. So if you have any annotations outside, so what you can do if you want that to be cropped as well, so you can go to the properties and then you can look for the annotation crop. So you can turn on the annotation crop, and then any annotation that is outside this boundary, this dotted line, will be turned off or it will be cropped off. So you will not be able to see that. So that is what happens if you turn on the annotation crop. So if this is unchecked, any annotation that you have here, you will still be able to see it. Like for example, I'll create a text here. So I just create a text like this one. So I create the text there. Text. Okay, so that's a text. Right, so as you can see, whenever I zoom extents, right click, zoom to fit, so there's my text. So I cannot put my model like this at the center because I have a text here. So if you have so many annotation outside and you want that to be cropped out, so you can just go to your properties without selecting any elements and then turn on the annotation crop. So just click that one and then apply. And there you go. It's now invisible or crop out. So you can click that. You can adjust this annotation crop if you want to see the text. So there's your text, right? So any text that is outside your annotation crop, it will be hidden to your view. So that's my zone A, for example. Now I do not want to see the crop region, so that's why I'm going to turn it off. So hide crop region. There you go. So there's my zone A, and then I'll go to zone B. Just double click that, Again, I'll be using my crop region. Let me turn it on first. So let's say this is my zone B. Okay, like that. Or maybe just like this. Alright, there you go, and there you go. And then I'll just turn off or hide the crop region. Alright. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna do, how about if I have a 3D view? Let's say I'm gonna open the default 3D view, this one. Okay, so I want to crop this one. Okay, so let's say I only want to see this area here, this area here. Okay, so for you to be able to crop that, so you can check your properties here, and then you can look for the section box. Okay, so be aware that your section box, the visibility of your section box, it needs to be turned on as well to the category on the visibility graphic override. So what do I mean? So if you go to the visibility graphic overrides by typing VV, Victor, you type that's the shortcut VV. And then you go to annotation categories. So if you go to S, so there's also your section box. So make sure the section box here is checked as well. Because even if you check it here on the properties, you will not be able to see that if your section box is unchecked here. So that's why I'm gonna check this section boxes from the annotation categories. Okay. And then after that, I can select now here the section box. Click that. And then there's now my section box. So this is the tool that we use to crop our 3D. So let me go to the top view by clicking the view cube like that. And then I'll click my section box. I'll adjust it. Say something like this. Okay, so maybe what you can do, you can also duplicate your 3D view and then just change the name. There you go. So let's go to the front. Click that, adjust the crop, and then just click again the home view, and there you go. Okay, there you have it. Okay, so now if you want to hide your section box, do not uncheck this one, because if you uncheck this, it will show again the whole building. So what you can do, you can click your section box, right click, and then just hide elements. Okay, so just hide that one. There you go. Right? So if you want to show it back again, so you can click this bulb here. It says reveal hidden elements, this one. So just click that, and it will reveal not only the section box, but all the elements that is hidden in your view. The color will be something like this. It's like a maroon or red color. As you can see, my levels here are also maroon or red color because they are hidden in this view. But that is not my concern. My concern is only my section box. So I'm going to click the section box, and then I will unhide it, unhide element, and then just toggle reveal hidden elements mode. Just click that one, and there you go. So there's again your section box. So your section box, again, you can adjust. Don't worry about these things here. It's just like a graphics display error. So just zoom in, so it will disappear, right? Anyway, I'm just gonna hide this section box. Right click and then hide elements. There you go. Okay. So maybe what I'm gonna do here is on my 3D. Where's that 3D? So I think it's here. There you go. So I'll just right click this one, and then I'll just duplicate this. Okay, so let's just right click and rename it, and let's say I'll just select wing A, or whatever name that you want. There you go. So there's my wing A, and then let me go back again to the default 3D view, and then I'm gonna uncheck the section box here like that to show again the whole building. Another way to simplify the creation of your crop view, you can actually select an element, like for example this roof here. Okay, why is it I can't select it? Oh, so it's a link model. Okay, so this is a link model. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to select an element here that is selectable. So like for example this one, the mechanical equipment. So I will click the mechanical equipment, and then there is a feature here from the view panel. So you can see here selection box. So what happens is it isolates selected elements in the current view. Okay, it isolates. Okay, you can also do this in 3D view. Okay, I mean in 2D view. You can do this in 2D view or 3D view. So it will create, or it will isolate the element and create a 3D view of that. So like for example, I selected that, what's this, mechanical equipment. So I select that one, and then if I click this, it will isolate like that. Very simple, right? So very simple. Again, if you want to show the section box, just click the bulb here, select the section box, and then unhide element, and then close it. There you go. And then I can now adjust it. Okay. The selection box is very useful. Okay, because it allows you to easily isolate an element or an area into a 3D view. Okay, you don't need to turn on the section box and then manually adjust it. Okay, you just select an area. Okay, just like what I've done. So I'll just uncheck again the section box here. So let's say, for example, it just so happened that this is a link model. That's why I cannot select individual elements. But as you can see, there are some elements that I can select individually. Like for example, this, what's this? This one is a duct. Okay, so that's a duct. So I can select the selection box. Or I can also go to the floor plan, like ground floor HVAC plan. So let's say I'm going to use a window selection. So I'm gonna hold my left click and then select this one. Okay, as you can see, I have selected elements. So let's say I want that to be isolated in 3D view. So I just need to select selection box, or just type BX after you select element or elements. Click that, and there you go. So you just isolated now that elements. Okay, so that's how you use your section box. Okay, so now another way of modifying the view visibility is by using a scope box. So let's say I'll go to my ground floor HVAC plan. So I'm going to duplicate this, right click, duplicate. This time I'll duplicate it as a dependent. Okay, so that's my dependent. Okay, let me just adjust this. Okay, so I'll just change the name of this. Okay, so let's say this is my zone A again. I'll right click this one. I'll duplicate as a dependent. There you go. So this will gonna be my zone B. Okay, so zone B, enter. Okay, so that's zone A, zone B. So this is the child view. I have two child view here, and then I have the parent view. So by the way, if you have a dependent view, any changes when it comes to the view properties on your parent view, it will also update the dependent views, and vice versa. So let's say for my zone A, if I change the scale of the zone A, I change the scale to let's say 1 inch equals 1 foot. That's the scale of my zone A, for example. If I go to the dependent, the other dependent, so it's also updated. You see this one? So it's 1 inch to 1 foot as well. Same with the parent view. If I double click that, so it's also updated. Right? Now, what I'm going to do is here on my parent view, I'm going to create a scope box. Scope box is here on my view tab. Create. You can see the scope box. Okay, so let's click the scope box. Click that one. And then we are going to select the boundary of our scope box. Let's say for this is for zone A, like that. So while the scope box is selected, I'm going to change the property of that. So I'll call it like zone A. Okay, so that's my zone A, and then I'll create another zone here. So I'll select the scope box again, just rectangle. So let's create that. So like, for example, this one, this is my zone B. So again, while the scope box is selected, I will change the name here to zone B. And there you go. So I now have the scope box here. So I'll go to the dependent view, my zone A here. Let's double click that. Okay, so here on my zone A, as you can see, since I have added scope box on my parent view, I can also see here the scope box that was added. Okay, so for the zone A, so I'll go to the properties, and then I'll look for scope box, this one. So as you can see, it says none. So I'm going to change that to zone A, and then apply, and there you go. Okay. So you need to adjust your scope box if you want to edit the boundary of your zone A here, for example. So if I go to the ground floor, where's the parent view? This one. Here's the parent view. So I can click the parent view, and then I can adjust the scope box. So if I change this, it will also update the dependent view here. So I do not want to see the scope box, so I'll just click that, right click, and I'll just hide that one. So there's now my zone A, and then this is my zone B. Zone B selected, go to properties, look for scope box. Let's select scope as zone B, and then apply. And there you go. So let's click the scope box, right click, hide in view elements. Okay, so that's how you use your scope box. So you can also apply this in the 3D view. So if I'm going to open the default 3D view, okay, so you can see there the scope box, right? So I'm going to disable the section box here. So I don't need the section box, this one. So I'll just uncheck that. There you go. There's the whole model. Again, this is my 3D view. If you want to create a separate view for your zone A and then for your zone B, so it would be better to duplicate your 3D here. So just right click and duplicate that. Right click, duplicate. Okay, and then for your copy one, you can rename this. Just change the scope box there. There's the scope box, so that's for my zone A. Apply. There you go. And then for my zone B, copy to scope box. That's my zone B. There you go. And then again, we can go to the visibility graphic overrides. Another way of hiding your section box and your scope box, just go to the visibility graphic overrides. You can type VV, or you can type this icon from the 3D properties or from the view properties. Let's go to the annotation categories. Let's look for S. Uncheck scope box. Uncheck section boxes. There you go. Okay. And same with the other one here. So let's go to the visibility graphic overrides, annotation categories, letter S, scope boxes, section boxes. Okay. Okay. So just be aware that the extents of scope boxes can also be adjusted in our 3D view. Aside from adjusting to our parent view on the floor plan, you can also adjust that in the 3D view. Okay. So this is the 3D view. So this is the parent view. As you can see, I can adjust the scope box here. So if I adjust here, the other views, the other 3D here, these two 3D will be updated as well. Okay, so what else? So if I'm going to select my scope box here, as you can see from the properties, aside from the name of the scope box and then the height, you can also select the edit here for the views visible settings. So click edit, and then you can see here the scope box views visibility or visible. So scope boxes are automatically visible in 3D views and other views where they intersect the view cut plane. So the current state is shown in the automatic visibility column, which is this one. So associated datums are visible in 2D views where their scope box is visible. So when you say datums, those are the grids, those are the levels. Okay? So you can always adjust this one. You can override that because by default, on my 3D view, it is visible by default, but you can override it. You can make it invisible. You can make it just no override or none. Okay, let me just cancel this one, and that's it for your scope box. Now, what else are the other miscellaneous view features? Oh, like what I've said earlier. So let's go back to the HVAC plan. So let's say you want to create here a color fill region. So you can go to the annotate. Let's go here. And then there's the color fill. So you can select here color fill legend. So let's click that. And then I'm going to put it here just beside. Click that. And then what type of color fill legend that you want. So let's say I just want spaces, since my model here have space. And then the color scheme is schema 1 by default. Let us use this. And then I'll just select here OK. And there you go. So the color now here is based on the space here. So if you want to adjust your color fill legend, so you can click that. And then you can select here edit scheme. Click that one. And then there you go. So currently, our color fill legend is based on the spaces. You can change that to HVAC zones or based on the rooms of the architectural or the spaces created. And then this is the color scheme that we have used, schema 1. If you want to create a new one, you can just duplicate this and then rename it. And then you can change the name here of your title. Let's say, for example, space color legend. Okay, and then you can change the color here by number, by perimeter, or whatever options that is available here. So I just select your name. So you can also change the color if you want. You can change the pattern. So let's say you want to change the pattern instead of solid fill. So you can make it a crosshatch. You can make it concrete. You can make it crosshatch small. What else? Diagonal down, or any pattern that is available here you can use. And then after that, just select OK. And there you go. Okay. Right. Okay, so basically these are the miscellaneous view features that is available in Revit for mechanical. Actually, this is also available to architecture, structure, electrical and plumbing and fire protection. Okay, but this is part of your examination. Okay, so in this video, we have learned how to create or how to use your section boxes, scope boxes, our crop region, the visibility of our crop region, and then the reveal hidden elements. What else? We have learned how to apply color scheme. Okay, so thank you for watching. Have a nice day.